Hello, my name is Elliot Shmukler. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Anomalo, and today I wanted to introduce you to AIDA. AIDA is Anomalo's Intelligent Data Analyst. It's a new feature within the Anomalo platform that combines our enterprise data quality platform with the latest and greatest in generative AI to allow you to ask questions of your data, create data visualizations, and create data quality checks, all in natural language. Now let's jump in. To get to AIDA, you simply find any table within the Anomalo platform and click on the AIDA tab. You'll notice that AIDA gives you a standard chat experience that allows you to ask questions about your data and get answers automatically through AIDA. There are some initial prompts to start with, which gives you a sense of what AIDA can do. For example, one of the things that AIDA can do is simply tell you about the table that you're looking at. And because AIDA is running on top of Anomalo and is integrated with all of the data Anomalo collects about the data sets it monitors, it's able to answer and describe your data sets often without running any queries. So for example, I asked AIDA here to tell me about this table, but run no queries in answering that question. And it's able to give me a lot of details about this table, including some of its key columns, some of the data distribution, like the geographic distribution here, all because it's able to access Anomalo's rich profile of this data. Once you've learned about the data, you can, of course, ask further questions about it and create visualizations. So here I asked AIDA to visualize the count of records, and a record in this table represents an article. Visualize the count of articles on any given day. You can see AIDA wrote a SQL query automatically to collect the right data, and it created a nice chart. AIDA is also great at investigating what's going on with the data and performing a simple root cause analysis. So for example, I noticed that in this table about COVID-19 articles, there was a peak about a month ago in terms of article count. So I asked AIDA about it. I said, there was a peak in September. What explains it? AIDA launched into an investigation, running several queries, until it figured out the primary drivers of this peak, namely 4 news events that dominated coverage and led to a large number of articles during that time. Note that any query that AIDA runs saves its results to a file that can be easily downloaded after the query is completed. If you worked on AIDA to build a perfect query for a particular situation or to compute a particular metric, you can also save that query for future use. You can save it to AIDA's memory. Once you save a query, from that point on, AIDA will be aware of it and will use the same kind of SQL to answer new questions that relate to the same concepts. Finally, AIDA can also create data quality checks as well. So here I've developed a different time series visualization, this time based on mentions of the bird flu or avian flu in this data set. You can see AIDA came up with a compelling query to look for all possible kinds of mentions of avian flu in this data and created a chart. Now maybe I'm quite concerned about the avian flu and I want to be alerted whenever there's a spike in avian flu mentions. And so I asked AIDA to create a check for me to provide that alert. Create a check to detect spikes in avian flu coverage. You can see that AIDA is able to very easily create this check. It's a custom SQL metric check, uses Anomalo's time series anomaly detection to figure out when a spike has occurred, and it uses the same query and definition of how to spot an article about avian flu that we used earlier in the conversation. It even knows that I'm only interested in spikes, and so it defined the check to only alert me about big jumps in this count rather than big jumps or big drops. Once the check is defined, AIDA gives me a summary of what it created and provides easy access to the check configuration itself so I can edit it further. Anyway, that was a quick overview of AIDA. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get to try AIDA soon. Thank you so much.